Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing this evening? Give me 1 second. Wait a minute. How's everybody doing? So I hope it's been a good day for everybody. Today I'm coming in because I was in there watching my news and something caught my eye, Roe versus Wade, and they just going at it. And so I wanted to come live and see how do y'all feel about it. Um, what are people's opinion? And then I wanted to watch a video first, like I always do, and then I wanted to come back and discuss some issues that I found with it to sort of get people's point of view. And so today I wanted to start out with understanding who these young ladies was. And I think with doing that, people will get a better understanding of what the issues are that we're fighting for. We have an election going on now. It's early voting in most states. And I think on the 8th is the actual voting day. And so I want to see people's point of view. What do they think? Okay, so this is who is Jane Roe? And so this is what we're going to start out with today and get to know who she is.
She was 22 years old, unmarried, unemployed, and pregnant for the third time in 1869 when she wanted to have an abortion in 1969. But by the time the Supreme Court ruled in her favor, she had already given birth and put the baby up for adoption. Wade, short for Henry Wade, was the district attorney of Dallas County in Texas at the time, and it was his job to enforce a state law which banned abortions except to save a woman's life, meaning Wade was the person McCorvey sued when she sought the abortion in the first place. But despite that win nearly 50 years ago, UC Davis professor Lisa Aikimoto told us a majority of the Supreme Court does have the ability to go back and decide there is no constitutional right to an abortion.
That means it leaves the issue to the state legislatures and the state governors. So that means in some states, the state legislatures could decide to enact bans or very severe restrictions on access to abortion. But in other states, they might step forward, and several states have already done so, to provide strong protections for the right to decide.
If Roe v. Wade does get reversed, it would not outlaw abortions altogether across the country, but it would be up to each individual state to decide. So if this does move forward, 26 states are either certain or likely to ban abortion, while other Democratic states, such as California, could see an influx of women coming in from out of state seeking care for abortions.
Yeah, Lena, it's really good to know the history when you want to make your own informed opinion on something. So thank you so much for sharing that. The future of Roe versus Wade. And you've heard us say that a lot this week, Roe v. Wade or Roe versus Wade, but some may not really know.
Okay. And so now we've heard that point of view of who she is. And so what I wanted to do today was go over some of the issues of what I'm finding. I'm not going to be long because I just want to sort of get a feel of what people's point of view is about it. And so she was saying that she was with 3 children and she didn't want, I guess, the 3rd child. Okay, my thing is, I'm gonna look at the statistics. Okay, is it a woman's right to choose if she wants to have an abortion? Is it because it's her body? Doesn't she have a right to make her own decisions? That's one point of view. And from a man's perspective, he feels that I hear some men argue that they may regret having a child in their life, they are good fathers out here. I'm not going to say they're not. And that they was denied a child because the woman chose to have an abortion. Her reason for not having it, I don't know. I think it's a controversy. It is a hot topic. Uh, I do feel like a father that wants to be a father should be a father. But then I got to come on the other side and say, we got so many fathers out here with children that are not fathers. And you got a lot of children growing up in poverty. Half of them don't even know who their fathers are. Mom don't know who the dads is because she probably been with so many men. I hate to say it that way. Then I got to go deeper. If they stop this, we're going to have kids all over the place. Who's going to take care of those kids? Are people going to be going to jail for doctors can go to jail if they're in a state that does not support abortions and they give an abortion, they're going to go to jail. And then on the other hand, you got a woman that does not want that child. What is she going to do to herself to keep from having that child? Is she's going to harm herself to make herself have an abortion? Or should she be safe to go in and get an abortion? That's her choice, you know? Or they're going to say, well, no, you can't have an abortion. Then you're going to risk somebody out here going the extra mile to make themselves lose that baby. Or are they just going to be dumping babies everywhere and killing babies because they don't want them? I'm all over the place with this. I don't know if it's a right or wrong answer because I look at all sides and it's more than one side. What is our society is going to be faced with if we make women have babies? What if she was raped? What if she was raped by the father? Or it was a rapist child? Are you going to tell her she can't get rid of that baby? She's not going to love that child like she would a child out of love. She's not. You say get a child up for adoption. Well, you got a lot of kids out here up for adoption. Who going to get them? Who's going to take these children in and raise them and love them? Or are we going to have a society full of mental health issues? It's something to think about. I mean, it's got to go deeper. I'm going to tell a story, and this is true. And gosh, I'm airing out my family business, so I really hope nobody in my family listen at this because it's hurtful. But what if that woman felt that I was married to you? So I'm gonna use one of my neighbors, and she felt she was married to this man, and one night he decided to force sex on her, and she had this child, but she didn't want the child because it wasn't out of love. And all that child life, she said things to hurt that child. So what if that child grew up with mental health issues because now the mother has mental health issues because of what was done to her, and she's projected that onto the child? So now you got everybody walking around here with mental health issues. Nobody's looking at the other side. So here I am. It say every year, 21 million girls ages 15 to 19 possibly become pregnant. Approximately 12 million of them give birth. Out of 21 million young girls, 15 to 18, that means they're still in high school. Approximately 12 million of the 21 million give birth. So what happens with the rest? 64.5% of births per 1,000 women in 2000 to 42.5 births per 1,000. And that was in the year 2021. I think it's going to be 5 states that is going to determine if abortion stays or if abortion leaves. Does the Supreme Court, should they have made that ruling? That was another thing I want to touch on. Did they have a right to tell a woman that we're going to force you to have a child that you may not want? Does the Supreme Court have that right? And these are all my opinions. I would like to hear your opinion. I don't mind a debate. Tell me your opinion. We're going to keep it respectful. But I definitely would love to hear your opinion because it goes both ways. I think a woman does have a right. It's her body. But then when a man say, well, I can't have any children and I could raise that child. See, that's another thing. If the woman does not want to raise that child, are you going to have more men stepping up to the plate to become fathers and raise that child that is their child? Are we going to see more men coming up saying, I'll raise the child? Because she may not want that child that you are forcing her to have. It wasn't her decision. You got people that legislations are making decisions that I don't think they should make. I think it should be an individual's choice. It should be woman's choice. Do I want to do this or I don't want to do that? And then I hear some say, well, it's making women be more responsible. Okay, but does that mean that I'm going to punish you? Because then it looks like more of a punishment because you got pregnant. That's a whole nother ball game. So it's several ways this topic could really go. I look more at teenagers and I look at the statistics of teenage pregnancy. Most high school students have had a sexual encounter at least once. Many have been involved in sexual intercourse during their high school years. Almost 8 out of 10 pregnancies, listen, 8 out of 10 pregnancies that occur in the teenage years are unplanned. They just having sex. They think it's love. And then you get pregnant. What are you going to do about school? About 18% of teenage girls who are around the age of 15 years old will give birth by the time they turn 20 years old. Who's going to raise these babies? Are they going to finish school, or are you going to have more people dropping out of school to raise their children? Are the kids going to be abused if they don't want that child? The percentage of females, it declined some in 1991. And I think it was 17.4 per 1,000 females in 2018. And 16.7 per 1,000 females in 2019. So it went down with females getting pregnant. But what's going to happen if Roe v. Wade stay the way it is and you can't get an abortion? Because then I want it to go deeper. And I wanted to look at the statistics. Should all women be punished because you got some women that love to have their babies. All women are not in that category or want to get abortions. That's not true. You have a lot of people want their kids. They love their children. But the ones that don't want that child. So that means everybody be punished for one. Even the women that has been raped, should they, is somebody looking at that? Are you saying, well, you got to keep your rapist child? So I wanted to look at the statistics on that because that was interesting to me. Rape-related pregnancies is a public health problem where sexual violence and reproductive health connect. And the National Inmate Partners in Sexual Violence Survey, ROE, include pregnancy that a rape victim end up having due to rape. And it's got women are vulnerable. And so I wanted rape and rape-related pregnancies. So rape, we know what rape is. Rape-related pregnancies are women that get pregnant by their husbands. And I've told him no, but he's determined we're going to have sex and he hates it. That's rape. That's what you call a rape-related pregnancy. And it doesn't matter because it's similar. Almost 3 million women in the U.S. experience ROE during their lifetime. What this is saying, this is statistics. More than 3 million women in the United States experience being raped or being raped by rape-related pregnancy. That means raped by somebody you know, your husband, your boyfriend. It's somebody that you know. And so now they're going to force you to keep that child. It doesn't matter whether you're Hispanic, white, non-Hispanic, black, non-Hispanic, or other nationalities. It doesn't matter your nationality. It doesn't affect one group more than it affects the other ones because it affects all groups. So it doesn't, it's not one particular nationality. It affects all nationality. %26 compared those by acquaintance. So I guess 26% is people you know. 5.2% is by somebody that you're acquainted with. That could have been somebody you went out on a date with. You're just acquainted, but you don't really know them. But you went out on a date, and it was called date rape. 6.9% is by a stranger. 30% experience some form of reproductive coercion by the same partner. So they basically, if you get pregnant by your boyfriend, your husband, somebody you went on a date with, somebody you don't even know, it all falls in that same category because rape is rape. And either you want it or you don't. And if you don't want that child, you just don't want that child. So I want to go over some definitions. Rape is it's a sexual violation, and it is defined as forced, by it could be somebody has been drinking or doing drugs. Anal or vaginal, any type of penetration is rape. Rape-related pregnancies include pregnancies that a rape victim is somebody that you possibly have went out with. Date rape. That's how I look at it, more or less date rape. And what happens if you're forced to have these kids? Are you ready? The females, are you ready? If the man want the child, are you ready to say, look, I'll have the baby and let him raise it. I don't want to raise this child. Either way, the child deserves to be in a safe environment. What if you're in a relationship like what I just did, where they got domestic violence, and your abuser, you find out you're pregnant, and you know if he abused you, is it possible he's going to abuse your child? I don't know. Do you want your child to see you getting physically abused all the time? Because then the child will grow up and think it's okay. It's okay behavior, and it's not. It's so much to think about. It's not a clear-cut answer to say who's right and who's wrong. After a woman has a baby, is it going to stop her from being able to go out and go to work? Then who's going to take care of the family? What if that man is not around? Are women going to be more getting evicted because they can't go to work to pay their rent or support their household? You could have a man up for child support all day long, but if he don't pay it, you're still responsible for taking care of that child. Who's going to take care of the child? Is the government stepping up to take care of all these kids that may come sit at their doorstep? Because you're telling women that they can't have abortions. So what if the women say, well, are we going to dump all these babies at the government hands? Is the government ready for that? Because you can't make nobody raise a child that they don't want to raise. Eventually, they're going to mistreat the child. Is anybody looking at that? And so those are some of the point of views that I wanted to touch bases on. I will say, if you are in a crisis or you've been raped or anything has happened to you or somebody that you know, there are resources out here. There is help. I always do this when I do these type of shows. You got 800-656-HOPE. So that's 800-656-4673. There are trained professionals for sexual abuse. If you're in some type of sexual abuse situation and you just want somebody to talk to, they do have this hotline that is available 24 hours a day if you just want to talk with someone. So I do like to leave that. And I don't know, I just want to know y'all opinion. So it's something that I'm sort of torn between when I see, and it's a lot of more things that I could touch bases on, but right now I just want to hear people point of view, or where are you at with Roe versus Wade? Is it going to leave women in poverty where they can't go to work because they got too many children? Who's going to take care of the children if they do go to work? You got to worry about child care. What if the woman already got kids and she don't want any more? It's just so much to be considered. And I know you're saying they need to be more responsible, but what if it's coming from a lot of high school students? So we're going to have more high school women dropping out of high school that aren't finishing college, or not even able to go to college because they got a baby. what if they made a mistake? So you're telling me you gotta suffer because you made a mistake, and then they're gonna look at that child as a mistake, and are they gonna abuse that child? It's just so much, you know. Is anybody thinking about these children? And that should be the number one priority when you're looking at a woman's mental state of mind. Who's going to raise these children? And are the children going to have a stable home environment due to being forced to have a child that they may not want to have? So I say again, I do feel it's a woman's choice. I feel like it's your body. You make those decisions. You're a grown woman, or even if you're in high school, you can't even make those decisions because 15, you can't even get a job at 15. Those are your parents' decisions. What if the parents are not ready to take a child in, feed another mouth, and they're already struggling with taking care of you? But then most teens are out here having sex in high school, and then you bring a baby or you get pregnant in high school. What does that do? Is that going to make the teen be able to drop out of school? It's just so much to consider. She's going to be able to get a job. What if she wants to go to college? Now she can't go to college because she got a child. It's just so much. I do know 5 states are going to make this decision, and I do think it's going to be left up to some cities as to what states you can have the abortion in. But if you don't have the money to go to those states, then you're still stuck with having a child. Are they going to put safe net places? I know they did before. You know what I mean? Where they're saying, well, drop the child off at, if you don't want your child, drop your child off at the fire department. And then there was so many kids turning up in dumpsters. I don't want that. That stuff like that breaks my heart. Um, I don't know. It's a decision. I do feel like it's a decision that a high school student should make with her parents, and that the government needs to stay out of. I don't feel like a government should be able to come into your home and make that type of decision. I don't think that that's a decision for them to make. So I do feel like it's a woman's choice. I wouldn't do it, but if that's what you choose to do, I'm not going to condemn you. Who am I to condemn you? I can't condemn you for the choice you made. You're a grown person. That's your choice. But I don't feel like it should be taken from you either. All right, so y'all let me know what y'all think. It's controversy on both ways, both sides. So I would just like to know how people feel about it. Hit my like button, leave some comments, tell me how you feel about it, and subscribe to my channel because I love topics like this. Oh, and another thing, what I was going to say, what is the government going to put in place for people to make sure that they can, well, they do have the birth control thing set up. I don't know what they're going to do with that. If they have it where women can't, are they going to start teaching sex education in school so women know instead of having sex that you need to go and get on birth control so you won't get pregnant? Are there going to be more open conversations? That's something that we need now. And without the abortions, we need that in the country. More open conversations about sex and what could happen if you do this, and are you prepared? And a 15-year-old can't make those decisions. A 14-year-old, a 10-year-old, it goes deep. All right, I just wanted to know y'all point of view and how did y'all feel about it. Thank you. Have a good night, and I look forward to hearing your comments.